Cain and Moira Dingle stand firmly together as his upcoming operation approaches next week. But could this mark a permanent turning point in their relationship? As his anxiety over the cancer surgery intensifies, Moira is quietly carrying a secret she refuses to reveal. What lies ahead for their strained marriage remains uncertain. Cain is worried their love story might never feel the same again, an insider reveals. The surgery could change everything, yet he knows he needs it. Both of them fear what might come, although Moira is doing her best to stay hopeful. Troubled by the possible consequences of the procedure, Cain has already nearly called it off. Moira, who understands her husband deeply, knows how crucial it is for him to go through with the operation, even if he's tempted to back out. While she tries to keep him calm before the big day, she is quietly struggling with a heavy secret of her own. She has already told him about Joe Tate setting her up by planting ID cards, but she deliberately avoided mentioning Robert Sugden's role and the reasons behind his actions. Moira is aware that Cain would completely lose his temper with Robert, the insider adds. Joe's behavior is typical of a Tate, but Robert is about to marry Aaron, Cain's nephew, and is expected to stay loyal to the Dingles. Cain would be furious at that betrayal. The last thing Cain needs before surgery is another conflict, and revealing the truth would also bring up painful memories about John Sugden, reopening emotional wounds after the loss of his son Nate. To protect everyone involved, Moira chooses to keep everything to herself. On the eve of the operation, Cain confesses his fear that Moira might not feel the same attraction toward him afterward, worrying it could affect their intimate bond. Moira reassures him that her support won't waver and that they will face whatever happens together. But how long can Moira hide the truth about Robert's betrayal? And if the treatment changes Cain in ways he fears, will their relationship be strong enough to endure what comes next? Dawn Fletcher is set to put a sinister scheme into motion as she targets Joe Tate for revenge. She keeps up appearances with a forced smile while secretly building a dangerous plan to ruin him next week, determined to strip him of everything he has. Pretending to be part of a happy family is becoming increasingly difficult, especially as Joe celebrates the news that his fiancée is pregnant. Struggling to hide her true feelings, Dawn turns to Moira Dingle for guidance on keeping her anger under control. But can she stay composed long enough to carry out her revenge? It's going to be a tough challenge. Dawn has finally realized who Joe really is, a source reveals. He assured her there would be no more lies, yet he completely deceived her. Joe may think Dawn is his moral compass, but she's no longer willing to stand by him. After learning that he orchestrated Moira's imprisonment, Dawn is filled with rage toward the man she once loved. Now, she is carefully crafting a plan that will allow her to break free from Joe while securing a stable future for herself and her children. For now, however, she must continue playing the role of the perfect partner and expectant mother. Joe is thrilled about becoming a father, but his excitement only makes Dawn feel sick. Desperate, she seeks support from Moira. Yet once she returns home, the real test begins. Can she conceal just how much she despises him? Wanting to see Joe lose everything, Moira advises her to be patient, go through with the marriage, and ultimately drain him of his wealth. But how will Dawn execute her plan? And will Joe finally face the consequences of his actions? Outsmarting the Tate family is never simple. This storyline unfolds as speculation grows that Dawn could be leaving the show soon. Reports surfaced in late March suggesting that the actress who portrays Dawn may be written out of the series. While there has been no official confirmation and the actress has remained silent, Dawn's revenge plot is only adding to the rumors. Emmerdale has revealed a major turning point for Cain in a deeply emotional special episode. The show aired a more personal installment centered on his relationship with Moira as he faced a difficult choice during his prostate cancer storyline. In the episode, Moira turned to Chaz for guidance as she struggled to reach her husband. At the Woolpack, Moira admitted she had said the wrong thing to Cain, accidentally stressing how important intimacy is to her. After everything she has been through, it makes sense she wants to reconnect with him. but her comments deeply affected Cain, especially with the possibility that surgery could impact their sex life. Chaz reassured her that she wasn't being unfair and urged her to speak openly with her brother. At the same time, Liam realized Cain might need support and went to see him, where Cain shared his doubts about going through with the operation. He explained that his biggest fear wasn't the procedure itself, but what might happen afterward, worrying that his marriage could fall apart. Wanting to meet what he believed were Moira's expectations, Cain told Liam he was thinking about refusing the surgery to avoid the risk of impotence. Liam strongly disagreed, saying the decision didn't make sense, which led to Cain forcing him to leave. Later, Liam informed Moira that Cain was in a troubled state of mind and considering turning down the operation. She rushed home to confront him, but despite her attempts to reassure him that intimacy is only one part of their relationship, Cain suggested they should end their marriage. "We'll find a way and get through this together," Moira insisted, but Cain remained convinced she would eventually look elsewhere if he couldn't satisfy her. Their discussion quickly turned heated, with both of them dragging up past betrayals. Cain accused her of being involved with Nate, while she fired back by reminding him of his affair with Ruby. As Cain tried to shut the conversation down, an upset Moira warned that his pride might ultimately destroy their relationship. She told him they could handle the cancer, but his stubborn mindset and warped self-view were the real threat, adding that this issue, more than anything else, could tear them apart. After taking time to cool off, the pair managed to talk things through. Cain apologized for his harsh words, admitting he often pushes her away and promising to change. However, he still refused to go ahead with the surgery. He said he didn't want their lives to be altered, but Moira pointed out that without treatment, it wouldn't just be his life at risk, it would affect hers too. With no resolution in sight, Cain stepped outside for some space and ended up receiving unexpected support. While sitting by his father's grave, he struck up a conversation with Eric Pollard, who was out with baby Layla in a pram. During their talk, Cain asked what it's like living with Parkinson's disease and whether it's frightening. Eric admitted that the uncertainty of the future is indeed scary. He reminded Cain how deeply the family values one another and hinted that he would one day be there for the next generation. Before leaving, Eric told him he was fortunate, and his words clearly struck a chord. Left emotional, Cain quietly questioned the timing of the encounter as he looked at his father's grave. In the closing moments, Moira found him and was relieved when he revealed he had decided to go ahead with the operation. She was surprised that his conversation with Eric had helped him reach that decision. Cain even joked that perhaps the old man still has his uses, before the couple shared a kiss. The show airs on weekday evenings at 8 p.m. on ITV1 and is also available to stream on ITVX.